Alright guys, what's the crack? And in today's video we're going to be doing the NXT logo, the beautiful NXT logo. It's pretty simple, it's kind of intricate, so we're going to take just a little bit longer here today to do it. Step one, just make yourself a little kind of grey box, and in front of that get yourself a black box. This is going to make up the actual NXT background itself. There's a grey kind of background that sits behind a black background. Next, on top of that, we're going to get a long, thin, grey line to make the kind of background of what will eventually be the background for the top and bottom part of the X, the big X in the middle itself. So what you got to do, get yourself a nice rectangle, straighten that out, make it bigger, make it longer, make it thinner, turn it the same color grey, and move it, copy and paste it, and move it right down to the bottom, where the bottom of the X will be. Really simple stuff for the background to start this off. Next things next. All you gotta do, copy and paste those grey and black things from the very first part, move them over to the right hand side, same again, stretch everything out, make sure everything fits and is in line and perpendicular and all that. Move your black across, copy and paste that, and just fill in the bit in the middle, and there you go. You can kind of move those grey lines across if you need to, and there you go. You can kind of already see the background of NXT's logo coming together kind of already. Step 4, really simply, grab yourself NXT and place those letters in there, whatever color yellow you think is best. However, do not use the T, the letter T. Use 2 letter I's and kind of make them fatter, join them up, line them up, make sure that they're all in line. Next, you want to fill in the little background just under the T itself. Really simple stuff here. All you need to do, get another rectangle, fill it in the way I am here, and place a white one. Well, actually, apologies, we want to fill in the background first, and then cut out this little rectangle at the bottom of the T here with another white rectangle to make that part of the background. Really simple stuff so far. It will get technical in a second, so try to keep up. I'll try and go as slow as I can. Next up, very simply, we're just going to grab a triangle, stretch it out a little bit, and this is going to make the kind of point underneath and above the X itself in the background for the NXT logo. Really kind of simple stuff up to this point. Again, it is kind of intricate, and just placing those things can get kind of tedious, but then play around with it, see what you think is right, correct. Okay, so step 6, you want to fill in the background behind the X itself, and to do that we're just going to get those same grey lines, copy and paste them, and make them smaller, just turn them black, and now you'll have yourself a nice little black background behind the letter X itself. As you can see, I'm just putting it into position down the bottom of the X there now. So it's kind of coming into shape now, very close. Step 7, triangles on the corners at the corners of the X itself, on all 4 points of the X, top, bottom. And these are very simple, but they're very effective because they need to be there. As if you check the logo, you will see that obviously the points where the X is pointing have points on them in the background. So grab some small grey triangles, start filling them in at each corner that the X needs to be filled in, and use grey lines then to actually fill in the straight parts of the X. So you can see now I'm just using straight lines to fill in underneath and all around the background of the X. This is going to give you your background behind the X. Same way that we have the backgrounds behind the N and the T, you're going to have to kind of individually make each part to cover the grey lines behind the X. Really simple stuff. It's just that there's lots of little small things, and again, don't forget, copy and paste all that stuff the whole way through. As you can see, it's starting to really come together nicely now. Alright, moving on. So we're still going to use these black triangles at the bottom inside the emblem this time, inside the background, to get that grey kind of flat square area, to turn that into a point as well. These are really small features, but really important, because if you don't do them, the emblem won't look too good compared to what it should. Okay, so step 11, this is really nothing. You can be as little detailed as this as you want, and that's simply just putting a WWE logo on top of it. I just used a W and then 4 straight lines, and then this little black curved line swoop thing for the actual bottom base of the logo. You don't need to detail this part, it's not that important. It's just a WWE logo, and it's very small, so you don't need to put too much effort into that one. So that will do fine for that. Now, you can literally leave the emblem there if you want. If you want to leave it there, that's good enough. But if you want to continue on and make it a little bit extra better looking the way it actually looks, you can put your background, the NXT letters itself. To do that, all you're going to need to do is get some rectangles and triangles, and the same as before with the backgrounds. Just stick in those. It's a different yellow color, like a darker yellow. And what you want to do with that is just like you did before with the grey triangles and the black triangles and the black squares. Just fit them to the shape of the letters, and you'll get yourself in no time the NXT background itself. So make it a little bit darker, line everything up, and before you know it, you'll have a pretty reasonable, close enough NXT emblem. I'm aware that at the top of the X there's no corners, at the top of the X there's no points. That was just because of so many layers that I had in this actual image itself. I couldn't arrange them in such a way that they pointed out like they do at the bottom. But it's close enough. No one's really gonna notice. And then what you really should do is play with the X, play with the big X, the front, the back, the corners, the background itself. Play with the X because that's the main part of this emblem, and you will get better results by just kind of fidgeting around with it, messing around with it. This is my first attempt at this emblem. Like literally, I didn't go back and redo it. You're seeing the recording of me trying this for the very first time. So I think it looks pretty good for a first time effort, and hopefully you guys can get something close to it anyway. It's pretty technical but pretty easy because it's just squares and rectangles and triangles. I hope you enjoy, guys. I hope you learned something. I will see you tomorrow for the WWE logo is coming up tomorrow. I finally got it done, kind of okay, the way I like it. I will see you then. Take it easy. Enjoy. Goodbye.